Having a Yarn. I'm Kacy and I'm here to share the kind of second video in this little series, just going through kind of my sewing space and more about my sewing stuff. So I'm without Tiff today again, and I do have to apologise. I'm filming on my phone rather than on the fancy camera that we normally film on. And it seems to be doing this weird framing thing where I press record and then I come and stand in front of the camera, and then for some reason the phone is like auto focusing to the height of this. So I believe my last video my head is half cut off throughout the video, and I didn't figure that out until the end of the video, and I cannot be bothered recording that again. So you can see everything in it anyway, so just my head's cut off a little bit. Anyway, today I am talking about my fabric stash and future sewing plans. So first of all, a little bit of a thing about fabric stashes. So I mentioned in my previous video that I have been sewing now for maybe 4 or 5 years. So I have fabric that I bought 4 or 5 years ago that I had in my fabric stash. So I think all of us, when we take on a new hobby, particularly sewing, like you just get really just overwhelmed with like all of the possibilities, because really they are endless. Like you've got endless combinations of patterns and fabrics, and it's all very exciting. And for someone who was like really into colours and patterns and all that kind of stuff, I went nuts. Like I literally had, so what you see next to me here, I would have had at least 4 times this amount. Yeah, I would say 4 times this amount. And a lot of it I made into garments. Some of the stuff you would have seen in my previous Me Made wardrobe video. Some of them you wouldn't have seen because they have since been given away or donated, because they're just stuff that I don't actually wear. And the other thing that I really realised with having a stash, so for me, having a really big stash, rather than inspiring me and motivating me to create, it did the complete opposite. It actually kind of, I think it was the pressure of having all of these bits of fabric that I wasn't necessarily that inspired by anymore, because they'd been sitting around for a couple of years. They might not be my style anymore. That yeah, it actually hindered my creativity, because you kind of feel guilty for it sitting there. You're not particularly inspired by the colour or the print, or you bought it without a pattern in mind and realised that it's not actually going to work for any patterns that you are really actually going to make and wear. So what I did recently is Tiff actually came around and pretty much took my entire stash. So yeah, like I said, it would have been probably, it was at least double this. So she's taken pretty much all of my spare fabric that I didn't have a plan for, and a heap of spare yarn as well. She's either going to kind of make it or she's going to donate it. There is a like a charity that I think that they make clothes for homeless people, or just do little crafts and stuff. So at least I know kind of all the fabric scraps are going to a, well, not scraps, but fabric pieces are going to a good cause. So now this is pretty much my stash. I really am working towards pretty much being stashless. So when I shared my recent Me Made wardrobe video, the pieces in there that I'm most excited about are from fabric that I bought 2 weeks ago. So really it's my intention now is to buy a piece of fabric that I know what I want to make, go home, cut it out, get it sewn, get it in my wardrobe while I'm still like super like enthused about the fabric. I don't want fabric sitting around. I just want to kind of be inspired, buy it, wear it, and that's what I want to do. Yeah, and then the other thing is that I think when you go shopping as well and go fabric shopping, it's easy to get caught up in like I could easily go to a fabric store and buy 20, 30 pieces of fabric that I love. But yeah, it's easy to get caught up in thinking if I don't buy it now, it's not going to be here later. So one, probably is going to be there later. It's not likely. Like there's been so many times where I'll buy something from Spotlight and then 6 months down the track it's on clearance anyway. Or like, does it really matter? Like if you see like a fabric that you love and that you're inspired by, it might not be there in 6 months' time when you're ready to make something else, but something else that inspires you will be there. So I think just a lot of us turn to sewing as a way of getting away. And again, sorry about my voice. I mentioned in my previous video I'm part of a choir, and we've been singing a show in the Perth Fringe Festival, and yeah, this is our last night tonight, so we've been singing pretty much every night for the past week, so I'm losing my voice a little bit. So yeah, I think a lot of us move into sewing to get away from that kind of consumerism and fast fashion, but I think we also have to be careful about where we're sourcing our fabrics and how much of this fabric is going to waste, because there's still a big environmental impact from the making of fabric as well. So I now, moving forward, want to be a bit more cautious about just hoarding all this fabric and instead buying pieces intended for certain garments and getting them made up. And that's what I love about kind of the dress I'm wearing. This was something I'd never seen this fabric until a week ago, and now I'm kind of wearing it as a dress, and yeah, it's just a nicer thing. Anyway, rant over. I just wanted to share, yeah, what I have still left in my stash and what I'm planning on making with it, because most of the stuff here I have a plan for, apart from maybe 1 or 2 pieces. So I'm going to start over this side here. So I really just want to make, so I've had, okay, get to the start of the story. I've had this piece of like stunning Rifle Paper Co canvas in my stash forever. I adore it. I would never get rid of it because it's definitely destined for a garment, but I just haven't found the right garment until now. So I only bought 1 meter of this because it was super expensive. And I bought it back when I was a student as well, so I was being thrifty. And I just wanted to make it into like a little skirt, because I think, yeah, just like kind of a little structured canvas skirt with a cute kind of like top, I think will look really sweet in this fabric. Yeah, so originally I was going to do the Grainline Studios Moss skirt, which is just like a little kind of A-line, like zipper front skirt. But then I decided, to be honest, I can't be bothered doing a zipper fly because I've done it before in a pair of pants for a friend, and it's really kind of fiddly and annoying, and I don't quite like the finish. So I wanted maybe to do something a little bit easier. So I found the, what's it called? The Amy Allen? No, Alice Allen. Oh, yeah, it's the button down. It's called the Button Down Denim Skirt by someone Allen. I'll write it in the description below. Yeah, it looks just super cute. It's just a really simple kind of button down skirt, so don't have to worry about the zipper fly. And I think it'll look really nice in this fabric with some kind of nice big buttons. So that's what this is going to become. And then this piece here is just a bit of navy corduroy. It's like a needle cord, so it's like a really fine corduroy. And this is what I'm going to make the toile out of. So a toile or a muslin is basically kind of your practice garment. I like to make mine out of like wearable fabric, so that way I can actually wear kind of my practice garment. This is just kind of cheap stuff, so I will make the skirt out of this cord first, make any adjustments that I need, and then make it out of my beautiful Rifle Paper Co fabric. That's what that one is going to. And then I have this beautiful wool here, which originally I was going to make a pair of wool trousers, and then I was like, I live in Perth, what am I doing? But I did try on a skirt in Country Road the other day, which was like this really nice black wool, kind of, again, a button down kind of skirt, and I really liked it. So I kept this out of when I was giving away the rest of my stash, because I think I'll probably make the same button down skirt in this wool, because it'll be nice with a pair of tights in winter. So those 3 are all going to become the same thing. This is just a little bit of leftover blue linen from my from the Doona cover that I made the dress out of for my choir performances, which I shared in that last Me Made video. I just realised I should step back just in case I'm no longer framed in here. Yeah, so that's some leftover. Not sure what I'm going to do with that one yet. But yeah, I'll probably make a little top or something out of that one, because there was so much fabric left of that. Now this is just a mustard polka dot rayon, and I'm planning on making some sort of button down shirt. So I think I might make the Gilbert top by Helen's Closet, which I've made 2 of before, which I shared in the last video. But instead of having that tie front, I'm going to make the other version, which is just kind of like a straight one that you just tuck in. So that's the plan for that one there. Otherwise, I might make another Rita shirt dress just as the shirt as well. Yeah, I just love polka dots and mustard, and I think that will be really pretty. But I think as a top like this, like without some sort of kind of button down or detail here, I think it'll just be like a bit overpowering in this colour and this, yeah, I'm not sure it'll quite suit me, so that's why I decided to do some sort of button down with that. Now this is a piece of beautiful, I think it's might be silk. So this was from the Morrison fabric sale. So Morrison's a brand here in Australia, and they have a warehouse sale every year where they sell off kind of their dead stock of fabric. It was amazing to see all of their fabrics, absolutely stunning. This was a couple of years ago now, and I just picked up this piece, just a beautiful kind of navy blue, has incredible drape. So what I'm thinking is I might just make that into basically this top but as a shirt instead. So something that's just going to be like super drapey and lovely. I don't want too much detail on there because I think that'll just show up in the silk too much. If I do like a placket, I feel like it's not going to look great unless my sewing is perfect, which my sewing is not. So probably that's what I'll do with that one. Now, this is one of the ones I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with, and it may be given away. It's this beautiful Japanese cotton in this lovely kind of blue and white check. Super good quality, but again, slightly stiffer fabric. I've tried making dresses out of it in the past, and just because of my body shape and stuff, being kind of big busted but small legs, I don't think it looks, I need something a bit more flowy, I think, to kind of, yeah, skim over the bust, and whereas I think this makes me look a bit top heavy, this kind of fabric. So I am not sure, it would have to be made into some sort of crisp shirt, I think, and then whether or not that's actually going to suit my wardrobe, don't think so. So that one I'm on the fence about. And then this one here is another rifle paper coat. Obviously, I'm pretty obsessed with the rifle paper coat. So, because I've bought 3 pieces. So one of them I just showed you there was that canvas one, which we made into a skirt. One I showed you in my previous Me Made wardrobe video, which is already made into a shirt. And then this one here, so the one I already made into a shirt was a beautiful flowy rayon, which is this kind of the same drape as what I've got on now, which is great for a top or a dress. This one's a canvas, making it really good for like a skirt. This one is just that in-between kind of quilting cotton. So I feel like if I make a garment out of this, it's just not going to suit me. So I will probably make a project bag for knitting out of this one instead. And then just reorder things a little bit. So this one here is a beautiful kind of wool it's kind of like a browny grey with this mustard lining fabric. So this is destined to be a Yanta coat, I think is the name. I really would like to make a coat one day, and that was the one that I've got the pattern for, but I just haven't tackled making a coat yet. I just haven't been able to have the time, but I feel like I'm getting to a point now in my kind of career and life, like I'm not a student anymore, like I'm working, I'm a bit more settled, that I feel like I can now start putting a bit more time into my hobbies and getting back into sewing and knitting and stuff. So yeah, this will be the lining of the coat, so on the inside that you won't see. Yeah, so a nice little challenge to make a coat. And then the next 3 are kind of like jumper fabrics that I'm probably going to make into, I don't think I've decided on the jumper pattern yet, but basically this here is just the most stunning wool in this kind of beautiful grey. It's almost a little bit of a ribbed fabric with this just really small navy line in there, really soft on the back. Just can't wait to turn this into a jumper. My grandmother actually gave me, my grandmother's quite into sewing and knitting herself, So when I kind of got into it, she gave me a little bit of money to kind of invest in some beautiful fabrics. So thanks, Nan. I went out and bought this gorgeous fabric, which has been sitting in my stash for a while. So my intention is to make this one up for this coming winter. Yeah, I've got a few kind of jumper patterns in mind, but I haven't 100% decided yet. But just keep tuned for future episodes of Having a Yarn, and I'm sure once I make it up, I'll share that. And the same thing as these ones here. I actually made a jumper out of this fabric here, but it was like a turtleneck jumper, and I never wear it because I just feel like I'm constantly being choked. So I think I have enough because it's really soft and drapey, and I love a good stripe. So it doesn't look very nice on the hanger because it's just kind of a bit scrappy. But I think I've got enough to maybe make a bit more of a bigger, looser fitting kind of jumper out of that one. And then same with this one here is some more just really nice kind of wool fabric that's a bit more of an open weave, so you can probably see a bit of the light through that there. Originally I was going to make a cardigan out of it. I don't think I'll actually wear a cardigan, so I'm going to make just like a really good, just standard jumper for winter in that. And lucky, oh no, two more. This one here is some beautiful denim. So my other big project that I'd like to tackle sewing wise, one is the coat and two is a pair of jeans. So this has a bit of stretch, so yes, I did buy stretch, so I'll have to get a stretch jean pattern. There's a few out there. There's a Megan Nielsen one, and there is the Morgan Jeans closet core patterns, Morgan Jeans. It's been a while since I looked into that, but yeah, anyway, I've got the hardware kit that that came with it as well. So I've got all of the the rivets and buttons and stuff that you need for a pair of jeans. So I think that'll be a really kind of fun project to tackle this year. And lucky last, it's just this beautiful piece of wool, tartan wool, which I originally got to make either some sort of shawl or poncho, and I never made it up into anything. I wear it occasionally just as I just actually hemmed it. So you can just kind of chuck it on one of those big blanket shawl things. I was going to get rid of it, but it's just so soft and I love the colours and I just can't part with it. But maybe I'll just continue wearing it as a shawl, blanket, scarf thingy, or maybe I'll turn it into a bit more of a structured poncho-y cape thing. I don't know. I live in Perth. It's very warm here all the time, even in winter, so we don't need kind of super cozy stuff. But yeah, I couldn't part with that because I don't know, the colours are just stunning. I'm not really into orange, but I just think when you're wearing in winter a dark pair of jeans and a dark top, just having this beautiful splash of colour and the teal in it, I think is just beautiful. So anyway, that is my fabric stash. It's quite small now, which brings me a lot of joy, to be honest. And the fact that I've got plans for everything is really exciting, or for most of it, because I can see that stuff becoming garments quite soon. I'm actually going to be making the skirts today, once I finish filming this, as I'm on holidays at the moment for a couple more days before returning to work. So yeah, thanks for kind of watching, and I hope this inspired you, maybe to kind of go through your own stash and give it a bit of a clean out and get re-inspired about what you're actually going to make with everything, and kind of donate the rest of it, and then that way just kind of get re-motivated. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, give my other video about my Me Made wardrobe a watch. I go through kind of what I'm currently wearing in my Me Made wardrobe. It doesn't include absolutely everything, but it includes a lot of the stuff that's still kind of in current rotation in my wardrobe. And then keep an eye out because I'm going to be making a third video coming up, just showing you my sewing room once it's all finished, which is where I am at the moment. Just waiting for a tabletop to finish off kind of my sewing desk. I have a cutting table which is behind the camera, which I currently use for cutting, and then I also use it for sewing, but I just want to kind of separate those spaces. So I'll make everything look pretty and do a little video on that as well. But otherwise, thanks for watching.